So, you're running for rep,
Yes.
okay? And actually, you have quite a history in involvement with this whole rep seat, right?
Well, I'm running for the 14th Middlesex
Right.
District. Right now, that district consists of precincts 1 and 9 in Chelmsford, Carlisle, Concord, and precincts 1, 2, and 6 in Acton.
Okay.
And that's a result of the redistricting of 2002. And when we used to have, our own, so to speak, representative seat, they cut that up in 2002 into 4 sections, and they did it in such a fashion that no one from Chelmsford really stood a chance of being elected based on the numbers of people that they assigned to the Chelmsford precincts. So I filed litigation, took it to the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts, and unfortunately we came out on the wrong end of a 4-3 decision. And until 2010, when the census changes, we're locked into that position.
Do you think that in 2010 it'll change?
If I'm the state representative, I hope so, yes.
Okay. Obviously, you've got a serious uphill climb here in the sense that you're coming from 3 precincts out of...
2 precincts.
2 precincts out of what, 30? I mean, the total number of precincts around the...
It's about 17% of the entire district.
Okay. So you get a 17% base. You're running against an incumbent. You are running as an independent.
Yes.
So you probably have the advantage registration-wise. There's probably more independents in that district than there are.
It's about 50% statewide is the trend now with independents. So I like to think that we're not so party-oriented as we used to be. That independent-minded people like to look at the candidates as opposed to the parties themselves. And I hopefully want to capture some of that independent voters.
Right.
A lot of people, when I announced I was going to vote, said you can't do it, the numbers don't work. But I have crunched the numbers, and I've worked the numbers to the point where in the last election the incumbent ran unopposed. The Republicans didn't even put up a candidate, and 30% of the voters still chose to blank her. And in the previous election, when the Republicans did put up a candidate, with the exception of her hometown of Concord, it was almost 55-45 in every district, or in every precinct other than Concord. So I like to think if I can get 100% turnout or as close to that as possible from Chelmsford, whether you're Democrat, Independent, or Republican, that's going to crank those numbers up significantly. And if I can make inroads into Carlisle and Acton to try and better that 55-45%, I think I do have a good chance. I think the numbers do work.
Okay.
And the incumbent's been in for 10 years. She has a record, that's for better or for worse, in my impression worse, to hang around her neck. That's something that's going to, something that I can work on anyway with her given record. And I've done quite a bit of research, and I think I have quite a bit to go on. Now,
would you consider the district conservative, liberal, moderate?
I would say moderate.
Okay. And like, what votes has she taken that you find that you don't think would match with the...
Well, she's definitely ultra-liberal. The Democratic Party, she's even as left can get. Some of the legislation she's proposed, borders on, well, in the tough financial times that we're in, when we need more local aid money, more Chapter 70 money, the opponent is off on these, what I would call larks, frivolous frivolous legislation as far as legislation to have 2 hands on the steering wheel at all times, legislation to tax all non-nutritional food, things of this nature, which, for all intents and purposes might be very good, but it's not what the voters need at this point in time.
So you're questioning her prioritization of...
Absolutely.
Of time and effort. Okay. What are the things that ring your bell or turn you on, or what are the things you'd go after?
I think the 2 biggest issues right now, as I said, were local aid in the form of Chapter 70 money or lottery funds. The lottery was designed to give money back to the cities and towns.
Mm-hmm.
After overhead, cities and towns were supposed to get the remaining. And in around 2000, 2002, the legislature started to tap that money and divert it to the general budget. Times were good. Well, now times are bad, and I think we need our lottery money back again. Casino gambling, my opponent recently voted to quash all further debate. I mean, not yes or no, but just let's not even have any further debate on the issue. And that's a reality. If you watch the news the other night, Governor Patrick is going to do it one way or another. He's brought in the Indian tribe. He wants to go the federal route. I think if we're going to have them, we should have a say in how they're set up and how much money goes back to the cities and towns from them. And let's at least debate it. That's $500 million a year, allegedly, driving through Massachusetts on its way to Connecticut every year. That could be going in our coffers, that could be going to our cities and towns. And then the Chapter 70, the education formula needs to be reworked.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that. What